just stopping by?
Yeah, we were supposed to go to lunch, but I'm missing it. We're on camera. All right, so
Where are they going for lunch?
Ruby Tuesdays. So
Huh?
Ruby Tuesdays. So this is the 7-pin harness. It's installed. The bracket that holds it in place is installed. Now, what needs to happen is we need to essentially hook this negative wire up to this ground port like it was originally. So take that guy back off. Slide it on through your negative. Push your negative through here. Start getting it threaded. Once you've done so, and your cowl should cover that. Now we're gonna slap that 1/2-inch socket back on. We're gonna come over here and gonna yank off this positive terminal on the starter solenoid like we had done previously. And yank this here washer off. Should be a lock washer, marine grade. And you want to take this positive wire, you want to slide it onto that terminal. Drop your lock washer back on it. Slide your 1/2-inch nut back on it. Begin the threading process, again ensuring that all electricity is turned off and disconnected, and that you're not at risk of electrocuting yourself or harming anybody else nearby, like my dog Bettis. That's important. Alright. Now your main positive, your main negative on. I'm actually going to loosen up this negative just slightly. Go back to the 7/16.
Is the battery already terminated?
Yep. And I'm going to push this guy inwards here, just so that way it's not interfering with our cowl.
Down, down, down. That is down, down, down.
So now this guy here has been disconnected. We can begin to start the connection process for the rest of the harness, right? So remember, your yellow and black wire that comes out first, this is going to go to your positive and your negative side of the starter solenoid. So we're going to need a smaller socket. See if this guy here works. A little too small with this puppy here. And looks like we get the perfect size here with a 3/8 socket. So we're going to drop this. And remember that your positive side from the direction that we are currently facing is over here on the left. And your negative side is the side closest to the boat, or from our perspective on the right. We are going to disconnect the old wire, which in our case was so corroded that it broke off. So we're just gonna remove the tail that's left behind. I'm trying to be cautious not to lose the nut that goes on top of it. So we got the nut. No pun intended. And we've removed the tail of the old wire. We're gonna slide this solid yellow wire back in its place. Right down there. Take that 3/8 nut, reinsert it back on top of the terminal. Begin the threading process. Work your way down. So you probably get it about hand tight when you can take the socket back on top of it and snug it up. You want to be careful not to break the wire as you do, though. So only go until it feels snug enough to where you think it's secure. And with that, we're going to do the exact same thing on the negative side. I'm going to remove the nut, being cautious not to drop it. I want to make sure that I explicitly state that with Joey next to me.
Yeah.
Now, by the way, I will say I did order a new starter solenoid that'll be in tomorrow. So, we'll wind up coming back and pulling these wires off. But, we can get her fired up. Now, I will probably just keep that part as a spare. I'll worry about replacing it at another point in time. So right now, we've got the negative wire. It should be the 18 gauge negative wire that comes off your harness. Black. And it will go right on the negative side, again side on my perspective, the right, from your perspective, the left, and from all perspectives, the side closest to the boat. Boom, bada bing. All right, so what we have left is a series of longer wires. You have a gray wire, which should lead to the choke solenoid. You have a brown wire that should lead to your tachometer signal. You have a white wire that should lead to your 12-volt key switch. You have a red wire that should hit the positive side of your rectifier. Then you have this orange wire, which is a kill switch that we will not end up using.
Wrap it up. Wrap the video up.
At that, we also have, lastly, this series of jumpers. We're going to take these 2 yellow and red jumpers. We're going to take them on the stator terminal block and we're going to run them up to the terminals you see back here on the rectifier. And then we have this red jumper here, which is going to go from the red terminal of your kill switch to the positive side of your rectifier. And then we have this black jumper here, and the black jumper is the one I'm not 100% familiar with yet. And I must say, I don't think, this is in the event that I am using it for a alternator driven ignition, which I am not. I'm using it for a, for a battery type ignition. So I will not actually need this wire. All right, we'll wrap this video up and do the final install of the wires in the next series.